Welcome to the Bully Live podcast. What is going on, fans? Are you guys in for a treat today? We actually have one guest that we announced before bringing on, and that's Dean Duarte. We have yet another guest we're also going to bring on here in a minute. Before we do, real quick, let me make a couple shout outs, especially to this gentleman right here, James Holbrook. James, nothing but love, man. So happy to see that you have recovered and that you have come back, man. Nothing but love. Seeing everybody out here reaching out to you, man. Really, really exciting stuff, man. Good to see. Without further ado, man, let me quickly go ahead and bring in our co-host and bring in our guest. First and foremost, let's bring in the co-host. We got Donald Gaines, we got Mike Green, and who is this gentleman to your right, Mike?
Man, that's the one and only Joe Martinez, man.
How y'all doing?
What's up, Joe? Joe, talk to me. What kennel do you represent?
Dallas Elite Bullies.
Dallas Elite. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Hold on a second. I got Hollywood. Do you need to come in, Hollywood?
Perfect.
Okay. I'm bringing on Mr. Dean Duarte. Dean, how is it going this evening, brother?
Going good, man. Going good.
Well, man, glad to have you up in here, Dean. Let me tell you, Mike was talking to me about bringing you on. I couldn't be more excited to bring you on here. More importantly, because I think there's a possibility you probably produced, I want to say, the greatest litter of all time. It's just a possibility. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But before we do, I'm going to hand it over to you, Dean. Give me a background. Tell me what state are you in, name of your kennel, when did you start breeding, so on and so forth.
Man, I'm with Triple Shot American Bullies from Hobbs, New Mexico. I started breeding, man. I bred Shar-Peis before I did American Bullies. But in the bully world, we've been here about 13 years.
All right.
We were Smoking Barrel Bullies, New Mexico for about 9 of those years. And then about 2 years ago, we started our own Triple Shot. So that's the reason why you see the SBBNM in front of all those dogs' names. It's just our old kennel.
Well, good deal. Let me ask you, what got you going into the American Bully? Why did you shift from one breed to the other? What made you change?
Man, I had a good buddy of mine that was from Hobbs, New Mexico here. His name was Diego Garcia, and he had bullies, and I knew nothing about him. I just met him one day, and we started talking about him. He said he had one that, he needed to place, and he gave me a good deal on her, and I took her in, and man, it was just turned around for me after that.
Love at first sight, huh? I want to say that's the same for everybody else in here.
Yep.
Good stuff.
A really good temperament, man, and to this day, everything we have, is based off of her. So it's pretty cool, man.
What bloodlines do you mainly run, or did you start your program off of?
A lot of Razor's Edge mainly.
Okay, Razor's Edge.
Yes,
okay.
Sir.
What have you outcrossed to? Because we know that sooner or later you're going to have to outcross unless you consistently line breed, and there is a difference between close line breeding and further away line breeding. How do you do it?
We've done, mainly Gotti line. It's just been, we go to an outcross and then we come back in. So we're pretty much still got a lot of razor's edge, and Gotti as well.
Okay, good deal. Obviously, you have dogs that are grand champions, and I want you to go ahead and introduce them. And
Okay.
I want people to understand that these grand champions all came from one particular litter, and then we're gonna hop into that. Let me just go. How do you want me to do it? Do you want to name the dog and I bring up the picture? Or you want me to bring up the picture and you just talk about the dog?
Let's start out with Grand Champion King Kilo, because
Okay.
he was produced by myself and my kennel partner Julian Grotto.
Okay. Excellent.
He lives in Roswell, New Mexico.
How old is this boy right now?
King Kilo is oh shoot, man. I want to say he's about four and a half, somewhere around there.
What a good looking specimen. Yeah.
But he's a grand champion in 4 different registries.
Well, talk to me about that. What registries is he a grand champion on?
Man, I'm gonna have to send a text out to Julian. I know it's BRC, ABKC, UKC, and I'm not sure the 4th one. But
USBR.
USBR?
USBR.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Good deal. How nice is it to not remember the registry around the bat that your dog grand champion? But I can understand you got so many, man. Which is the next dog you want for me to bring up for you?
Let's go to grand champion Hangman. He was the first one out of that litter to grand champ.
Would it be this guy right here?
Yes, sir.
All right. Hangman. How old is this? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Hangman is 3 years old, I believe, man. I should have had my notes on that, but yeah, I believe they're about 3. Hold on just a second.
No worries.
I got something right here.
All right.
Yeah, Hangman is owned by a good friend of mine, Lee Bullock. Hangman is grand champion, last year's Nationals winner, best in show. He did it all, man.
Yeah, we got a picture up here where you're bowing down to him and whatnot, and that's just amazing, man. It really is. And here he is as well. Good stuff. What's this other dog that came out of that litter? Is this Grand Champion Ragnar?
That is Grand Champion Ragnar. That's he's a litter mate, and he just recently Grand Champed.
Jeez.
We didn't show Ragnar much early on. We kind of kept him out here, and he just lived his life as a little couch potato puppy
For a little bit. Yeah.
He was very spoiled with his owner. I went over one day and I seen him, and I told him we had to get him in the ring, and we did it, man. We took him out, champed him, and grand champed him.
Man, it's just amazing. You have another dog that grand champed out of that litter. That would be a female out of.
Yes, sir. Grand champion Juno.
And this is her right here.
Yes, sir.
Wow. And let me ask you this: in order of grand championing out, who you said Hangman was first, correct?
Hangman was first. Then it was Juno.
Okay, then this dog we're looking at right here.
Yes, sir. Then it was Ragnar, and then it was Cerberus.
Then it was Ragnar and Cerberus. I think the only picture I have of him. Wow, guys, check out this picture in the ring. How many times do you have 3 grand champions competing in the same show against each other, and they're all brothers or brothers and sisters? Well, these are all males, so all brothers. Can you tell me from left to right who's in the ring here?
Grand champion Ragnar, grand champion Cerberus in the middle, and then Hangman on the right.
Wow. Guys, those of you that are watching, real quick, those of you that are watching, do me a favor. I need you to go ahead and type in, who do you think is the best dog, best grand champion out of all these 3? Ragnar all the way to the left, Cerberus with the smallest back, I want to dare to say, in the middle. And you got Hangman all the way to the right. Who do you guys believe is actually the best one out of this particular picture? This is phenomenal. This is something you don't see every day. So give me a little insight as to, you know, whenever you have a litter, or in that particular litter, when you had it, at least for me, for example, we let puppies go at 10 weeks. I grade puppies and I know what I'm looking for based on the needs of my yard and all that good stuff. I could only imagine how difficult that must have been for you picking in that particular litter. Let me know how many puppies were in the litter, and talk to me how you decided to keep your keepers.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna break y'all's heart right here with this one.
Yeah.
They were born February 15th, 2020. It was tough. It was tough. We had 10 all black puppies. I kept the male out of it, and it was between him and Hangman actually was, you know, which were the two that I was trying to decide on. Early on, you know, I didn't think much of it because I never had the issue. The pup that I kept out of the litter, testicles never dropped.
Oh, so, dang!
So I had to go on the rest of these dogs' career just looking at everybody else,
just watching
win, but it makes me happy though, because you know we had some really good owners that went out there and did what they did with them. So
good deal. At what week? I'm just curious. At what week did you have them pick?
I believe it was 9 to 10 weeks, somewhere around there.
Oh man!
Mm-hmm.
And he's a good-looking dog. He still lives here in town. I gave him to my nephew. But you know that was my story on that litter. That's why people probably wonder, man, why'd he sell all them badass dogs? That's what happened to me, man. So you know, we've had talks about repeating this breeding again. So we actually, you know, we did try it and it didn't take. So I think we're going to try one more time. David Martinez, owner of Grand Champion Blue, great guy, man. He's worked with me, and you know we've both, you know, been proud of this whole entire litter.
Wow,
to
say the least. Yeah, you should be. Is there any? Well, you know, I'm really glad that you're sharing with us the lows, in a sense, that your puppy, your keeper, his testicles didn't drop. A lot of times, us breeders, we make it look so easy. And that's because we're taking that glamour shot. We're showing the marketing, all this. It looks phenomenal. It looks great. But, you know, the backstories, like the one you just said, are the ones that are not really told that often. And it's I appreciate your honesty and for letting the new breeders know that it doesn't always go smooth. Here you are. You got 4 grand champions off of that litter, and the one you kept, his testicles didn't drop. It's like, geez, you know.
Yeah.
And that's a bad son of a gun too, man.
Yeah, he's nice too.
He's nice.
But you know, I'll tell you, if we do repeat this breeding, I'll be keeping them puppies for a while.
You should.
I'm gonna get the best one for sure.
Hey, man, I'm gonna let you know. I'll jump on that waiting list, but I could definitely agree. You need to keep him at least for 6 months just to make sure everyone's testicles are where they need to be.
Yeah, I wouldn't go outside New Mexico, Texas, you know, with your placing those dogs, Dean.
Oh, man.
Take one right
Keep them close.
Yeah, keep them close.
Yeah.
Texas, New Mexico. Keep them there, man.
That's right, man.
What are the heights of Cerberus? I mean, we went at all of them in the ring, in Grand Champion class and Champion class.
They're all about 19 inches.
19
Hangman,
inches, right?
Hangman, I believe, is 105, 106 pounds, somewhere around there. Ragnar is about 105 pounds. Cerberus is about 98 pounds. And Grand Champion Juno, she's like an 85 pounder, big girl.
Yeah. She got bigger, man, since the last time I seen her. She looked about 90 pounds, man.
Yeah, she's a big girl.
Mm-hmm.
Dean,
so
I didn't really have
Go
a
ahead.
question, but I had a comment. Is, man, I seen everything that happened, with my own eyes, and I tell you, you couldn't have handled everything in a more classy way. In that the true admiration you gave to others, and man, it was just inspirational. So I just wanted to point that out.
Sure was,
Thank you, man. I
man.
appreciate it.
Most definitely. I'll tell you, and I'm looking from the outside in. I'm not as close to you as, say, maybe Mike and Donald are. The way you handle it was straight class. I think this community needs those types of examples because too often when something like that happens, then somebody wants either their puppy back or they want to dim the light or all that other stuff that is unnecessary. The mere fact that if you produce that pup, even though it's in somebody else's hands, you're that puppy's number one fan. And I think that definitely came through, man. And definitely my hat's off to you. Now, let's talk a little bit about dogs here in general, because we all have our different theories. I run my yard my way. So does Gaines Bullies, both Mike and Donald Gaines. And I'm sure my guy here next to me, as well as you, run it differently. My question to you is, where do you put more stock? On a good-looking male that's got everything you want, or a good-looking female that's got everything you want? If you were to start all over again, which of the two would you go with?
Good-looking female.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
Yeah.
Man, it just seems to me that that's the foundation of your litter. A lot of times, they pull a lot from their mother, so I just, and I'm not taking anything away from any males, but I just feel like, as a breeder, I think my stock goes into females. But I do at some point want me that 105-pound male to take out to the show ring, man. I need that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, most definitely. The male definitely contributes, but if we all had to start out, I would start with the female. Dean, you're saying you would start with the female. Down here, starting left to right, yes. Tell me, what do you start out with, a female or a male?
Same, female. The female is going to give you most of your program. The male is just going to enhance that look. So, it's just that extra little topping on it. But I mean, the male does bring a lot. Don't get me wrong, but the female will bring the majority of characteristics that you need to the litter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got you there. How about you, Mike?
It'd be the female for me also. I just from experience, and a blessing. My first dog I got was a female, and if I could go back 4 years, I have a couple females, so the same caliber.
Yep. Sticking with it for the long run, I would definitely say a female. If I wanted a companion animal that I was gonna keep, and it might cost you some money, but I would probably get a male just to hang out with if I wasn't planning for the future. But we did the female, and that had to be my best answer.
Well, that's fair. That's fair enough. Now, I know that those people that are watching are itching to ask Dean, only because you got the 4 grand champions off of that litter, so everybody's going to want to know, Dean, what are you feeding your dogs in your yard?
Man, our dogs here mainly kibble.
Okay.
That's pretty much, what we give them. When we go to shows, we'll start some raw, depending on the dog and how it's looking. If we want to fill them in a little bit more, we'll give them some raw, but we mainly stay on kibble. I'm not sure what all the owners are feeding them, but for the most part, I think they're all on kibble.
Is there a particular kibble you go to?
Purina Pro Plan, is the one I like to use.
No way.
Yeah.
No way, man. You left me in shock. You left me in shock.
We use that one. And recently there's another one.
Go get that cord, man.
Get that sack.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't remember that other one that we started on as well.
Hey, man, if it works, bro. I'm against kibble, but if it works, it works. I can't knock something that works, man. There's no way around it. Mike, what are you guys feeding over there, man? I know y'all feeding some kibble. Talk to me.
We're feeding kibble, but we got a local dog food manufacturing place where Donald go in and he pick up that food. And I don't know it right offhand what the name of the food is.
That's
but
the one. That's the one I'm talking about, Mike. But I can't remember the name of it. And I got a bag in the garage actually that we just started on.
They're keeping it a secret.
Yeah, keeping it a secret.
let me run in there and look, because this is what happens to me, man. I'm getting old, man. If somebody asks me a question, I can't even think.
I'm in the same place, man.
Hey,
But
is
that
that bag full, Dean? Is the bag full?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna say if you bring the bag.
It was a local. Dang it, what's it called? I'll find out. She's gonna let me know.
Yeah. Next level, is it Next Level kibble?
No.
Okay, Next Level. I know somebody's using Next Level along with that local brand. Now, Dean, are you supplementing your dogs?
Zero High Point is what it's called.
Zero High Point. Okay.
Yep.
Zero High Point. Are you supplementing your dogs? Do you supplement them?
We do have some on Nuvet.
You got them on Nuvet. All right. How long have you had them on them?
This is I actually got our second bottle in the mail today. So,
all right, good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Started, I didn't know who you were, but I found you on YouTube one day and you were talking about it, and that's when I ordered the first bottle.
No way.
And today, actually, the second bottle came in the mail. So
there you go. Well, listen, real quick, let me tell everybody, man. The green bottle is a multivitamin. The blue bottle is joint support. When you put those two together, the green bottle actually helps you absorb more of that blue bottle. You correct a lot more of the dietary insufficiencies your dog may have, especially if you're feeding kibble, because kibble's being processed at such high temperatures that a lot of times can denature proteins and whatnot. Dean, let me ask you, have you seen a difference ever since you've had your dogs on Nuvet? Whether it's coat, whether it's orthopedic, whether it's anything?
I think their coat's looking really nice, man. A little shinier, healthier looking. So yeah, I've noticed it.
Okay. All right, good deal, man. I'm glad to hear that you said you saw me one day on YouTube and you ordered it. That's pretty awesome, bro.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Obviously, your dogs have had to go in the ring and they've had to compete with many other dogs. What other dogs out there do you feel are the main or were the main competitors to your dogs? Which were the ones that made you eat some nails when they were competing because you didn't know if your dog could actually win?
Man, there's a lot of There's a lot of good dogs out there. I just say themselves. They've been after themselves for a long time. Themselves.
Oh, themselves as being their main competition.
Yes, sir. When we find out that Ragnar and Hangman are both going to be at a show, or Cerberus, and it gets pretty exciting for us, man. We're pulling for both of them.
All right, so look, right now I got everybody out, pushed everybody out. There's nobody watching us, right? It's just you and me.
Okay.
Out of all your dogs, right? All your grand champions, which one's your favorite?
All of them are my favorites, man.
No, you got to pick one to start your yard all over again. Who is it?
Their mama.
That's a good answer. Yeah.
I'll take their mama.
That's an excellent answer. All right. Is there anything you can tell me about each one of the dogs that sets them apart from the others? Let me give you an example. Let me go to my yard and give you a couple of examples. Let's see. My boy 305. He's probably the most athletic dog I have. Congo, he's probably one of the bullier dogs that I have. Can you give me examples like that amongst the four?
Oh man, you're making this tough on me, but I really do think that they're all very similar. All great dogs. It's hard to say, honestly. I think I will leave it at that.
Okay. All right.
I don't want to make it hard on you, man, but I really do
Yeah.
think they're great dogs with great owners, with handlers, that have been there, that have taken them and done all this with them. I mean, I appreciate everybody that, has had any part in these dogs' lives. But as far as my favorite, man, they're all my favorite. They all, to me, are on top, man.
So what is the future plan for your kennel? Is there something coming up? You already mentioned that you might want to repeat that same breeding again. Is there anything else that's coming up in the foreseeable future for you?
We just did an in-house. My kennel partner Julian and I did an in-house breeding with King Kilo and Champion Mamba. We've got 5 puppy litter. I believe you might even have a picture of one of them. I don't know if you kept that or
I
not.
wasn't able to. I wasn't able to.
Okay.
But definitely, Kyle, if you could do me a favor, if you could go to Dean's Facebook and download it, we could definitely pop it up. Okay. So
I think we've got, a lot of potential there in that litter, man. They're all looking great. And then, like I said, I'll go ahead and put it out there. I wasn't going to. I wanted to wait to see, that she took. But we did try the breeding again, and it didn't happen. But we plan on doing it one more time. The exact same breeding, Grand Champion Blue with Amira, and we're going to try to do this again.
Okay, that's fair. Let me ask you this. Okay, all breeders, right? We all have our own way of doing things. There may be some faults that I'm willing to deal with that maybe you wouldn't be willing to deal with. What faults would you say are deal breakers for you? What are things that immediately when you see it, that pup, there's no way you're going to keep it in your yard?
Biggest thing for me, I think, is easty westy or weak pasturings. And some of that we can work with, but I know easty westy for sure. It's a deal breaker.
It's a deal breaker for you. Okay,
Yes,
excellent. I'm glad you got some of that Nuvet because you're going to notice that East Westy, at least from a dietary standpoint, is not going to be popping up. Now, whenever you have a litter, what are the main traits? Give me just 2 because there's so many of them. But what are the main 2 that you prioritize or that you're really looking for?
straight fronts, tight feet, top line. I'll give you 3.
Okay. So you're a lot like me. I'm a fronts guy.
I'm a fronts guy.
Yeah.
That bugs me, man. I mean, and I think it kind of ruined me for any dog. I don't care if it's a Doberman. I look at him and I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
It's just getting in this deep kind of ruins it for you when you look at dogs that don't have what you like.
Well, I think at this stage of the game. Hold on a second. I got Kyle. What you got, Kyle?
Who am I looking for again in particular?
We're looking for a puppy.
6.5 week black puppy.
Yes, sir.
Does it have a name on it?
It
No.
says 6. It says 6.5 week old puppy.
Okay, I got you. I'm gonna look. I got it, I think.
All right. Excellent. Yeah, no, I can only imagine in your particular scenario, you're a lot pickier than most, I would dare to say at this point, because now your standards, whether you like it or not, have been risen based on what you've produced. Of other litters that you've produced, do you feel that you've had litters that have been as consistent as that particular litter? And the only reason I ask that is because a lot of times you'll have a breeder that can produce a pup that is just simply phenomenal. But a lot of times they're not as consistent as far as the entirety of the litter. You may have that one puppy that's perfect, but then the rest of the pups have something. Have you produced other litters, maybe with even other dogs within your line, that you feel that have been as consistent as that one particular litter?
I think we have. We've had some really nice dogs in the past. one thing though that is maybe making a better choice of or holding out and getting them to people that wanted to show them. You know, a lot of the early litters that I had,
That's a good point.
they went to a lot of them went to local people that didn't show. You know, people that just wanted a really nice dog, and that's how they, in the beginning, were placed. But after we got into showing, then you know we started getting more dogs out to show homes, and by this time when this litter was born, we had a lot of people interested in showing and wanted one of these pups. You know, and it's a really consistent litter. The one in the box right now, I think that litter is going to do great as well. You know,
Yeah.
we're trying to get them in some homes that are going to take them out and show them.
Good stuff. Let me ask you this. There you go. Kyle found the puppy. Look at this. Look at this 6.5-week-old pup. That's off of King Kilo and Mamacita, correct?
Yes, sir.
Wow. Simply phenomenal, man. Simply phenomenal. I definitely tip my hat off to you, bro.
Thank you, man.
Excellent work. Let me ask you this. You said you've been doing this now for 13 years. Where do you see the breed going from where you were 13 years ago to where you're at now? Have you seen more consistency, more breed type? Are you seeing more flaws? What are you seeing? What direction are you seeing the breed going?
I think it's getting better, man. I mean, there's just depending, you know, on what you're looking at and where you're going. I mean, we go to a lot of shows where, yeah, there's some dogs there that you know aren't to standard, but you know, no dog is perfect, man. It's tough. It's tough to get your dog there, but I really do think that a lot of breeders are trying to get, you know, better. That's what we're striving for. That's what we want to we want to get better every time. We want to go back. We want to go win, you know, so I think it's getting better myself.
So you're talking to an XL breeder over here. I know you breed standards, correct?
Yes, sir.
That's what your aiming point is at. Do you ever see yourself wanting to breed maybe a little bit bigger, maybe smaller XLs? Or do you just plan on sticking to just standards?
Oh man, I think standards is where I want to be.
Okay, that's fair enough. Any particular reason why, or is it just because is your taste, is what you like?
I think that's my taste, man. I really like the standards, you know, and we do have, we've had pockets as well, but I think standards is really where we want to be. I love a big dog, but I really like the standard.
Okay, that's
nothing
fair.
Nothing against the XLs.
No.
I love a big dog. I just
No, that's completely fair, man. Listen, Drippy65, one of our members, is asking, how many times do you feed your puppies? I guess how many times in a day do you feed your puppies?
My puppies, when I keep them in the litter box, I'll feed them in the morning and I'll feed them again in the evening.
Okay.
Sometimes, you know, in the morning, I give them enough to where sometimes they don't finish it all, you know, so there'll be some there throughout the day. And then when I get off of work in the evening, I feed them again. So twice a day.
Twice a day. Good deal. Good deal, man. Now, let me ask you this. We have a lot of new breeders watching us. A lot of people watch us driving to work, coming from work, whatever. What would be the main advice that you would give to a new breeder coming in? Think about it. They're looking to either buy a male or a female. We already spoke that you value females a little bit more. Give them a little bit of insight as to maybe why you would go in that direction and any other advice you might want to drop.
Man, I would say don't move too fast. Talk to people, ask questions. There's a lot of breeders out there that are willing to talk to you, and I mean, I get phone calls all the time. You know, I speak to them about breeding, about whelping. I think I see a lot of people sometimes they want to move too fast, and I think you need to take your time, look out there, see what's out there, study, Don't just jump on something because you think he's a grand champion, or he's gotta meet what you need. You
Wow.
know,
I love that. I love what you just said. Don't just jump on him because he's a grand champion. Why would you make that statement? Give me the insight. We both know why. I want you to be the one that says it.
well, because you have to try and compliment your female. A breeder, you have to start with females. You can't be a breeder if you want to just have males. So that's obvious. But you have a female, you have to try and compliment her. So you got to try and find the dog that's going to do that. A lot of people, they see the big dog, and that's what they want. They just want it, and they don't look at any flaws or anything that their dog may have that they want to fix. So you just got to try to fix what you have.
So it's more and it's funny you say that because I just did a consult today with someone and I broke it down to them. They had their heart set on buying a puppy. This breeder had them pick the puppy at 2 weeks. Puppy is 6 weeks, and they want full payment so they could ship it to them. So my response to this person is impulse control. That's the number one thing that you must have if you come into this community. Everybody wants to dump a puppy on you fast because they're trying to get paid. How do you control your impulse and know exactly where you want to put yourself at is going to determine your success. Would you agree with that statement?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I agree with it totally.
Okay. I appreciate that. I have a question from Sid1026 for you. It says, what made you pick Blue over another grand champion?
Because I seen Blue in person.
Okay.
A lot of people see dogs, online, and they just pick them because that's what they like the dog, and there's a lot of beautiful dogs. I mean, I've picked other nice dogs myself, but I've seen them all in person, and that's what made me do it. I knew that, he would, him and Amira would complement each other, and I felt that it would be, a good outcome. I always felt like it'd be a good outcome, but I never thought that it would be this good. So it really did click.
Question for you. I don't want to put you on the spot, but I must ask this. I harp a lot on genetic testing. I'm very big on it. Do you genetic test?
I have not. King Kilo has been genetic tested, but I have not all the dogs.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. Let me see here because I got a bunch of people asking questions, and I'm trying to pick and set it up so we could keep the thread going. Let me ask you this: with as much success as you've had, you did mention that on that particular litter, the one pup that you chose, his testicles never dropped. So outside of that, what would you say has been your biggest failure? A lot of people are watching us and they're seeing success. And don't get me wrong, we want to show them that. But no one just walks into success. A lot of times you got to fail so that you can learn to be successful. What would you say were the failures that taught you how to be successful the most?
And that's a tough one. Maybe letting dogs go too soon.
Okay. Elaborate on that. How many weeks were you letting them go that you felt it was too soon?
I was letting them go, anywhere from 8 to 10 weeks.
Okay.
And there's been more litters where it happened, and it's I think that's the biggest, and that's something that I really did learn, that other breeders should know. Sometimes you let them go too early, and
Okay.
In my case, it's something that I learned from, but it's also something that really did boost our kennel, because the people we got them to did something with them. So, it was something that I think needed to be done to put us out there, and it definitely did.
Okay,
But
fair enough.
I will be keeping litters longer here
So,
on out.
I was going to ask you, what would be the ideal time frame then that you would want to keep litters going forward?
Well, ideally, 6 to 8 months, but I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't go that extreme. I'll I want to say 4 or 5 months or so.
4 or 5 months. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't live where I can, have, and the mirror has big litters, so I can't keep 10 big dogs,
Yeah, no.
where I live. So
They poop
I,
a lot too, man. So
oh yeah, yeah. I will be keeping longer, and it's something that I have to do now.
fair enough. I have Rick Libre with a question for you. And he's asking, greetings from California, big bro. Question: is it possible to champ out a dog in one show and in one day?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
You can do that.
I agree as well. We got Echo agreeing with you. He's saying that's the gospel right there. Hold on to the puppies. Michael Higginson is chiming in. He's saying watching Nationals in person in Houston last year was amazing. I can't imagine how it must have felt to have all your blood in the top 3. Congrats. So take us through that. I'm glad Michael brought it up. Take us through that, man. What is it like to be in Nationals? And what was it? You had all 4 grand champions going against each other, or was it 3? How many were there?
No, not in Nationals. Not in that. Were all 3 of those grand champions. That was in Colorado last weekend.
Last weekend. Okay.
In the ABKC show.
Okay.
Nationals. It was Hangman that was in the ring with handler Devin Ferraro. That was an amazing moment, man. It was something that real unbelievable, man. Honestly, it just was great.
So what's going through your mind when you got 3 of your grand champions in a show going up against each other? Because I know you want to. I mean, you already know that one of them is going to win, so you know you won. But what's going through your mind?
Oh man, I'm. It's more like what's coming out of my eyes, tears. I mean, it's a proud moment, man. It's just just to see them out there, and I believe there's a good chance that this year they'll all 3 be in the ring together at Nationals.
Wow, that's gonna be fun to watch, man. Let me tell you.
Sure.
Echo I'm sorry, Sid 1026 says, when do you feel is too late to let go of a pup then? So if too early was 10 weeks, what do you feel is the top where you must let them go at that point?
I think by a year. I think
about
by
a year.
Yeah.
Okay.
You either decide by then that you want to keep them or they got to go. I mean, I think that's it. The longest probably.
Yeah, at a year, you if there's a particular flaw, you're probably already seeing it there, and if it's a game, if it's a deal breaker, you would know by then. Let me see. I'm
sorry. You know what? And we did have 2 dogs, and my mind sometimes, man, it's hard for me to remember things, but. Grand champion King Kilo was in the top 6 at Nationals last year, and he was in the ring along with Hangman.
Wow. Yeah. So that's a total of what? 5 grand champions out of your camp?
Yes, sir.
Wow. Congrats. My hat's off to you. Definitely. We have RGB chiming in and saying we had a puppy that they pet home at 12 weeks. Because one testicle didn't drop. And then it ended up dropping at 8 months. let me give a little insight on that. Typically, if I remember correctly, and I'm talking about by the book. So remember, by the book is only 65% accurate. That other 35%, anything could happen. By the book, if the pup's testicles haven't dropped after about 180 days, meaning 6 months, more like, I mean, the possibilities of them dropping after that are nearly impossible. So for them to have dropped at 8 weeks, at 8 months, the owner of that dog must consider themselves very, very, very lucky. So let's see, Dean. I'm going to throw a couple of words at you, okay? And I want one word answers, okay? I'm just going to say a word, and I want the first thing that comes to your mind to just blurt it out there, okay? All right. So here we go. East, west.
Oh shit, man. Not good. Oh, that's 2 words.
That's
Bad.
fine. High rear.
Bad.
Stiff stifles.
Horrible.
Underbite.
I can't think of another word, man.
Okay. Well, I'm going to make it harder for you. Overbite.
Goofy.
Goofy. Okay. Let's think here. Merle.
I don't know, man. I don't
Okay.
know on the Merle thing.
I'm gonna complicate you. So, there's been some talk about Merles being allowed in the ring. Where do you stand on that? Do you think Merles should be allowed in the ring, or should they not?
I'm to each his own. If that's what somebody likes, and they want to let him in the ring, hey, the more the merrier. We just want some competition out there, man. We love competing. So
I love the answer, man.
If they allow it, that's fine with me, man. I don't have anything against it.
I love the answer, man. I love the answer because a lot of times I could tell you, and I'm only using myself as an example, years ago, I was hesitant or resistant to change. But go and find out. I started doing my research with Merles, and I found that within the American Bully community, there's a smaller community that was breeding Merles at the time, and they were doing more health testing and were on top of more things than people that actually had dogs that weren't Merles. So they actually changed my mind in the long run. But I think your answer is phenomenal. To each their own, and the more competition, the better.
Yes, sir.
Of all the registries, the ABKC, USBR, UKC, and BRC, which do you consider to be that was the hardest for your dogs to grand champion?
ABKC.
ABKC. Was it because based on the amount of shows they had to go to, or was it just stiffer competition?
I think they're stiffer. In my opinion,
Okay, that's fair.
I'm not saying anything about any other registries. I love them all, but
Yeah, sure.
ABKC is where we're at.
Okay, no, that's fair, man. No, we're not throwing shade at any registries. Just your perception of how things went down and whatnot. That's all. It's as simple as that. So I notice in your yard, you have a lot of black dogs.
Yes,
I know King Kilo is fond, but the black dogs, is it mostly your preference? Is that color more of your preference? Is that something that you like more, or just it happened by chance? You had the best structured dog that just happened to be that color.
Well, I mean, in that particular litter, Amira had 10 black puppies. So
Yeah, you didn't have much choice on that one, did
yeah,
you?
there was no choice. Yeah, I like the black dog. I kind of prefer, more of the fawn. But I don't mind the black dog.
So listen, Gaines finally decided to somehow get back in here with us. So let me bring him in here, man. We've been having a ball over here, Dean and myself. What happened, man? Let's not even get
don't steal our friend, man.
Hey, a tornado hit the house, man.
No way.
Flash flood warning.
Flash flood, man.
Oh man, let me tell you, man. Hey, if you guys don't believe it, you got to check out the video Stack Kings that I made with these two gentlemen, Donald Gaines and Mike Green. The day I went there, it was 60-mile-per-hour winds, and the trees were moving in such a way that I didn't know we were going to be there for too long. We were going to be forcefully removed, if you will. Yeah.
That's home, man.
Hey, I was asking Dean a variety of questions. Let me ask you guys something, man, so I can put you in the corner as well, man. Out of Gaines Bully, right? Who's your top female and your top male?
I'll let Donald answer that.
Bad Betty, you know. Trophies speak everything. Top male, it's got to be Bass Reeves is proven. You know that we make show dogs, and
that's Bass Reeves
he's
there.
At the pinnacle of that. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, Bass Reeves and Bad Betty. All right. How about my guy next to you? Who's your top male and female in your camp?
Man, at the moment, I'm gonna say my top female is gonna be a champion Black Panther. She's producing what I need her to.
Okay.
And, you know, she's pretty much giving me what I want. I got a litter right now, 3-week-old pups, and last week they were weighing 4.2, 4.3. You know, wow. It was a massive pup.
Yeah.
And as far as male, right now what we have, I'm gonna say it's gonna be champion Chum right now. He's grand champion Jaws bred to my Shamrock daughter. So, yeah, he's pretty much what we got. But I got some up-and-comers, 9-month-old pups that I just been marinating on. I'm about to hit the scene again with them. You know, I took a step back from the shows because, you know, I became a hardest critic, and I felt we didn't have. The more I got educated, the further away I pushed myself from what I needed. You know, I know what we need to go back in that ring and, you know, take that win to a next level. And hopefully we're breathing towards it.
You bring up an excellent point, man, and I wanna ask everybody here the same question. I can tell you guys, I find myself a lot of times, I don't want to say beating myself up, but being over observant. A lot of times I could have a dog that needs better rear angulation, right? But in my mind, I'm thinking stiff stifles, right? And no, it's not stiff stifles, bro. It's you need better rear angulation, but we're not all the way to that point yet. Do you guys find yourself being overly observant or overly harsh on your critique of your own dogs? Dean, you first.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I'm pretty bad.
Yeah.
I bet you are. What are you a stickler for? You already set the fronts, right? That's your main go-to.
Yes, sir. Fronts, rear. But man, it's just so tough. You know, you can. Yeah, it's tough, man. But I am pretty tough on, you know, and like I said earlier, man. I mean, I'm like, I can see a hound dog walking in Home Depot and be like, God dang. I
mean, you're upholding him to American Bully standards.
I think it ruined me, man, because used to, man, before I started doing this, man, any dog just looked great to me, and now it's like, man,
breaking them down, breaking them down in line, paying for some fixtures.
Yeah.
From left to right, man. Talk to me. How harsh are you criticizing your own dogs, left to right?
I'm gonna be the hardest because I feel like before somebody judges my dogs, I need to judge them and be honest with myself. Yeah. I mean, that's a part of being kennel blind, you know.
Yes, sir.
We gotta. I mean, we all breeding with a purpose, you know. We add when our next breeding should always surpass the one prior to that, you know.
Absolutely, absolutely.
We're always adding a little bit of this, a little bit of that, because we started with a look. We wanted this dog, but as we started competing, and we seen this dog from here, this dog from there, we're like, well, I need that. I need this.
Exactly.
And, you know, and we all know that we're dealing with lives. So anything, it's like 1.5 to 2 years before we really realize.
Yes, sir.
This is what I wanted. This is what I needed. You know.
You're preaching the gospel, man. You're preaching the gospel. I appreciate you for that. Mike, what you got, man? I love the fact he just said it's gonna take you 1.5, 2 years before you correct that one mistake you made 2 years back. Go ahead.
So I say you have to be super critical, like when you're competing at the high level. Like we always knocking each other out. Dean's dogs, like you're facing them type of dogs, man. But you have to be super critical and understand what the breed is, what the breed standard is. And once you recognize that, then you know where you need to add. But I think that these guys really everybody push each other to create better dogs, man. And maybe to identify, but maybe to identify, you know, the critiques. You know what I mean?
Before Donald goes, I gotta ask, who is more critical of your puppies, Donald or Mike?
Woo! I say Donald. He spent more time with the puppies. Yeah. He's able to identify, and I trust Donald. You know, that's my mentor. So he picked out Bad Betty for me. So I use his knowledge of the breed, you know, to teach me. So
good pick.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of different ways to pick a dog, and I really hadn't never got past that one puppy is the one I like best. You know, that's the one I'm going to live with. Now, I think the fear of being overcritical comes from you know, you might think 1.5 years passes and you're going the wrong direction. I think we all fear that. So now we think everything has to be so perfect. But I mean, we just got that 15-minute smoke break, and man, I was taking Joe out to the yard. I was like, Joe, what do you think? Because every time someone that I know has seen a lot of dogs, and I respect their eye, I respect what they say, I was like, man, give it to me straight. You know, what do you like or dislike about this? And, you know, sometimes you got to change your expectations a little bit, you know. I mean, but yeah, I can't argue with Mike, man. I'm too critical sometimes.
Well, let me ask you guys this, and this is going in particular for all you guys, and I'll answer it myself as well. Real quick, do you let go of a female that you feel is breed quality, but she's not show quality? Go ahead, Dean. I'll let you go first. She's breed quality, but you don't feel she's show quality. Do you let her go or do you keep her?
It just depends on what it is that makes her not show quality and how bad it is. There are females that are not show quality, but you know are good females to keep, you know, to get a program going. You know, like I said earlier, just, you know, find you a male that's going to fix whatever flaw you don't like about her that's making her not show quality, and try to improve. I don't think you have to get rid of every female that is not show quality.
Okay. I think that's a good point. I think sometimes we're looking for such perfection, and that's the reason Donald brought that up. We're looking for such perfection that we lose sight that just because a male or a female is show quality doesn't mean that they can produce.
That's
just
right.
because a dog is breed quality and not show quality does not mean he or she cannot outproduce themselves to make show quality dogs. So I'm going to let you guys answer from left to right. So my dude on the left, if you have a female that's breed quality and she's not show quality, do you keep or you let go?
I'm going to keep her because, you know, you always need brood stock, you know, 2 grand champions aren't going to make you a litter of grand champions. You know what I mean? Sometimes you need that brood stock that might be a little overdone, and then you breed it to something cleaner, and you get just what you needed. You know, I'd rather keep the brood stock and I'd sell the show quality because, you know, if I didn't have no intentions of showing, but you know, if I'm a shower, I'd keep her too. But I'm saying I'd keep the brood stock off the top just because, you know, we got a program, and off that program, that one female, you got opportunities to create what you're looking for, and off of that show dog, it might not give you what you want. You know, it's a little balance.
Right. I think you hit something. I got to interject real quick. I think it's a lack of confidence. I think you got to realize as a breeder, you got to create. You just hit it. As a breeder, we are creating with genetics. Yeah. If you're thinking you need 2 perfect dogs to be able to produce good, what it really is showing is a lack of confidence on your behalf. There's no such thing as 2 perfect dogs. And like you just said, you could have 2 grand champions. That doesn't mean they're going to produce an entire litter of grand champions. Go ahead, Mike. I didn't mean to interrupt.
I'm the same way. I'll take a brood stock female. And when I mean brood stock, I don't mean like I'm talking about a dog that's close, like they're saying, like Dean say, depending on what the flaws is. But I would take a brood stock female over a show quality female. If you know, we try to add size is what we're doing. So if she has that size and everything that we're looking for, we have them show quality males that we can bring her to get closer to where we need to be.
Okay, Donald.
Yeah, I don't really think I could say it better than Mike just did. And it was a couple lives ago that I don't think there's any way to get the bone and mass to if you don't have that big girthy female, and you can't nitpick her to death. You know, she's just gonna be there for what she is, a good ass bully dog, and just run with it.
I couldn't agree with you more. I'm going to interject here real quick, then I'll bring Hollywood, and then we'll close this out real quick. I would definitely go with a broodstock female and keep her, but she's got to give me something that it's either overly exaggerated in her that my other females don't have. For example, a bigger head or more muscle or perfect fronts that you can't say no to. There's got to be something in her that's going to compel me to bring her in, because she is kind of like in a basketball team, she's like a 3-point shooter, right? A specialty type of player. If she brings, or a rebounder or a good passer, she's got to give me something that just outdoes everybody else. Real quick, guys, I'm bringing in my dude Hollywood in the back.
Hollywood.
What's up, Hollywood?
Hey, before you close out.
All right.
There you go.
Can anybody guess what me, Dean, and Raul got in common?
Ooh. I don't know.
Anybody?
I ain't going there, Mike.
Louisiana. Hey, that's cut from the food ass.
Oh,
hey,
man.
All Army vets.
Who?
There you go.
All right, man. Absolutely. I kind of picked that up from Dean, just the way he was talking and expressing himself. I was like, I have a feeling he was probably an Army vet, but that's awesome, man.
But it ain't right.
There.
It ain't right without making a joke.
Well, listen, guys, we have a thing we do here, which is our closeout. We're going to start out with Hollywood. We're going to bring it down to my 3 guys over there at Gaines, going to Dean, and then it's coming to me. We're going to close it out. Do me a favor. Once you close it out, don't jump off. We're going to talk on backstage. All right, guys? So without further ado, Hollywood, start it off, man.
It's your boy Hollywood Holland, your boy in the back at the queue, and we're catching you on the next one.
You got it. My dude on the left.
Hey, appreciate you having me. Joe Martinez, Dallas Elite Bullies, DB, the commission. Appreciate you having us on. Talking Bulls.
Hey, Mike Green, Gaines Bullies. Appreciate everybody, man. Nothing but love.
Donald Gaines, man. Gaines Bullies, man. Mark your calendar next Monday, man. It'll be even funner. We're out of here.
There you go.
Dean Duarte, Triple Shot American Bullies, Hobbs, New Mexico. Had a great time today. Come check us out. We're going to the top.
You got it, man. Appreciate you. Guys, listen, next week we got Jerry James, and we're going to be talking genetics. You already know I'm going to be spiced up for that particular topic. But either way, make sure to go to your notifications. There's wacky stuff going on with YouTube. A lot of people are telling me they're not getting the notifications, so make sure you put them on.
Hey,
go ahead.
Before you close it out, just letting you know, there was people in here saying that not only did they not get notified, but it wouldn't let them in for like the first 30 minutes of the show. That's why there was a big spike about midway, because they were having trouble getting in. So,
okay, guys, make sure your notifications are on. I'll try and figure out what happened, but either way, you already know this has been Raw from the Q, catching you on the next one.